Alright, hello everyone. We are back for another tutorial video here for Golf Clash. And what I'm going to do is kind of switch gears a little bit for you guys. I'm going to talk about a new Facebook group that I am in the process of getting underway, which is going to be, similar to the Golf Clash University, where it's kind of very educational based. I have kind of a personal idea as to what I want for the group, and the biggest thing that I want is to kind of set up videos and kind of change, instead of doing these hour and a half long videos where I stream a specific tour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to set up independent holes for you guys and just do start to finish, potentially with a shootout, maybe not. But what I'm going to try to do for this group, and just kind of, in the future, just to kind of cut down some of my streaming time or searching, and to make things a little bit less complicated, is I'm going to do one hole at a time. So first, let me just show you. Let me see. This is the group right here. We are called Learn or Burn, and it's going to be, Golf Clash related. It's going to be very educational based with the posts, where it's going to, and we're just getting started here. And, the idea here is very similar to the YouTube platform, where it's going to be based on, being more educational and for learning. Whereas, lots of other groups, there might be, a variety of different posts. What this group is going to focus on is more posts about learning and be educational based. So when you scroll down the page, you'll just see a whole bunch of tutorials or holes where you could see particular shots, clubs being used. And when you go to do your own tour play, you'll be able to easily manipulate those shots after just watching the video, or just learning those techniques a little bit better. So that's kind of the focus that we're kind of based on right now, and kind of what I have in store for you guys. The one thing that I just want to make note briefly for Tour 9, the two most important things here, Sniper and Goliath, having a good, so there's a specific shootout hole where I use Goliath. It has that extra length. It's the only tour that I really use Goliath and rely on it, because I'm prone to use Backbone because the accuracy is so good. But this is the one tour where, you can benefit from having that little bit of extra distance. 8 yards or whatever it is makes all the difference on that shootout. So in addition to that, we're going to go with Sniper for precision, and all of the shootouts will be accommodating for Sniper. And I am also going to recommend that you guys use either a Claw or a Thorn, something that you can full backspin, just in case you need that type of approach. There's a couple tight, especially on the Glen Monarch holes, especially the newer ones. There's some tight greens, and having that just as kind of in your arsenal to be able to stop the ball and potentially, backdoor if necessary, come in, try to make a hole out, or go for a dunk. It's going to be a very useful club. Aside from that, I highly recommend that you bring a long Spitfire or Nirvana, Razor, something with some distance. That's as most updated as you can have it, and the most distance based. If you've seen some of my streams, I try to prioritize distance pretty much universally, so that's not going to change in Tour 9. Rough iron and sand wedge, I'm always going to be going with distance in Tour 9. Aside from that, let's look at some balls. So I'm going to kind of prioritize, Katana is going to be my #1 ball of choice. Kingmaker, they're kind of side by side. It really, if I need that extra push to get the ball, I'm going to switch up to a Kingmaker. Other than that, a third last resort, it's going to be Titan. But I'm really going to want that extra side spin, especially for a couple shootouts. And that's the reason that you're seeing me use Katana and Kingmaker as priority over Titan. Because that side spin boost, being able to jack that up to 7, means you have to curl it less, which makes the shot easier. So, in my opinion, far superior balls to Titan. Titan's kind of a one-hit wonder. It's good for distance. Well, if you look at this hole, distance really doesn't mean a lot. It means a little. It's important. Getting it out there far can be useful. It can be helpful to us. But it's not the all to end all. It's going to be more about, for this hole, precision, hitting the fairway. After we get in the fairway, it's going to be about, getting that sniper, potentially for a holdout for an albatross, or just setting ourselves up for the shootout. And here you see my opponent. He's going very aggressive and getting it to just trickle back in. I like to do, on wins like this, I'll do something very similar. I am going to stick with a Katana here. Notice what I'm going to try to do with the spin is I'm going to do it with more cut spin to the left, just to try to counter that wind, and also to keep having from, what happened to my opponent happen to me. So here you're going to see me use very little power and about 5 topspin. My goal here is to land this to just the other side of the fairway there. And Thor 2 to 6 is about 1.7 per ring. So you're only going to see me go about 3 rings here. And like I said, very little extra power. Very minimal, because it was downwind as well. So I would assume that it's going to jump into the fairway and run out into the center. Kind of how you see the shot go exactly. And that's all you need to do for that drive. You don't need to do anything, too fancy, getting too aggressive anywhere. You just need to put it in play and set yourself up. Potential hole out. Worst case scenario, we're going to the shootout. So here you can see my opponent, Sniper 8, plenty good enough. You don't have to worry about having the best sniper in the game. Accuracy is always good. It starts off at 100. So the only thing you're kind of missing is a little bit of ball guide, and you're missing all the spin, and you just kind of collectively get better the higher up you get. So even if you have a 7, 8, 9, 8's going to be really the good starting point, because there's a good backspin boost at that 8 number. So having that 8 is going to be a really nice safety net to have, but we should be able to navigate some shots without it. And here you see, notice how I'm right at max there. Now I'm 2 yards into power, and I'm going to try to set up kind of similarly right at about max here, more or less. And I'm also setting up just a little bit left, because I know, when I adjust for rings here, which I'm going to go right about 6 rings or so, it's going to shoot a little bit more to the right than you see. And I am going at least a full 6 rings, because I am into power. So I want to make sure that I give it just that little bit extra to account for being into power. And there you see, that's a good start. So we're actually not going to get the shootout because I made the albatross. But like I mentioned, that's going to be a very, that's going to be a very fortunate thing to actually pull that shot off. Very, very challenging. As technical as a player as I am, I struggle getting that ball to stay online at a high rate, because the fairway is just so messed up. So don't expect that to happen. I very rarely even get that hole myself. So, keep that in mind. But if you play with that kind of precision and that kind of, mentality that you're just thinking about these things and, thinking about how it's coming in left to right, and always keeping that, that it's going to come in and kind of jerk over to the right a little bit more. If you're always thinking about these technical things that are going to happen, the game will come easier to you, and you'll have more successes than you will failures. So factoring in all these things, thinking about, how I was right towards max power there, and I was kind of into max power. If my normal sniper is 1 per ring, when you go into max like that, it's going to decrease the number a little bit, maybe 0.95, 0.90. You're going to need to go at least an additional, quarter, half, ring. If you have a really high wind, the difference between, say, if I'm at max power there and it's a 12 wind, I might go 15 rings. So it's just something that, you get better at the more you see it, the more you practice. So just keep those techniques in mind, and I think you're going to have lots of success in Tour 9. Be on the lookout for more of my Tour 9 updates, because as I mentioned, I'm going to kind of be changing formats a little bit and just try to break these down 1 hole at a time. And there you see it. And next time that I get another wind, I'll do another post for you guys. And, we'll kind of just go from there. Is we're just going to kind of collectively just kind of keep building a library. And I'm hoping other guys start to follow suit, where we'll do kind of similar and have kind of 1 hole at a time. And it's really going to make the search and just everything just a lot easier. So with that being said, good luck out there. Hope to see you guys out there, and let me know how it goes. I'll see you guys on the next one.